I always enjoy the Kilmarnock Celtic games because I think Kilmarnock always make it awkward for Celtic. It's never easy for them, and I look forward to it. It's never the most exciting or free-flowing football, but I think we always get action and good entertainment.
The supporters behind us, Charlie, are being very, very good about this because they are standing behind us right now in pitch darkness, and they're very, very quiet, and they're obviously waiting, as we are, for confirmation that this game will start around 5:45. But they are being very, very well behaved, standing there quite peaceably, just waiting for word as to when this game is going to go ahead. And Charlie, not easy either for the players. They're inside. They want to get going.
Well, they do, but I mean, I hear Sir John saying there about the warm-up, and then, you know, you need a proper warm-up. Well, I have to say, if I was a player, I would still want to be on the pitch. You just want to be outside, keep the muscle going, and just getting your stretches done. Now, it shouldn't really be too much of a confusion that with a player. I think if you then start taking them into the heat and start sitting down and give them instructions for your team tactics, that's already been done. There's no need to go back through that. If I was a player at this moment in time, I would rather stay out on the pitch until a decision is made. And as Sir John said, if it is 10-15 minutes, you are prepared for that. Because, believe me, the conditions tonight will play a vital role in this game. And I think if you're ready from the word go, then you might just take the initiative, especially where the pitch is going to cut up.
If you just come in and you're watching this, you're seeing us sitting here in darkness at Rugby Park because the lights went out a short time ago. It is a trip overload problem. And we are now in total darkness behind us.
That's the best I've seen you look for months, Jim White, I have to say.
Well, the rest of the lights have gone out. One or two are coming back on now. And as we said earlier, about an hour ago, match referee tonight, Hugh Dallas, was out on the playing surface anxiously looking at the conditions, and he decided that the game could go on. Now, outside the ground, these supporters are waiting patiently because right now the turnstiles are not open. They're keeping the supporters outside. Quite a few of them have made it in when we had lights, that was, and they're standing waiting like everybody else for this game to go on. It seems like all around the world the lights have gone out, Charlie. It doesn't seem like Rugby Park, does it?
It certainly doesn't. I think that's the hardest thing of all, though, I have to say, for the police. Because when you've got, you know, the punters outside, and they're basically, some of them have had a few drinks, they've got here in plenty of time in their supporters' buses, and they want in, they want the action to start now. And I think to just keep them patient and say, look, we've got a problem, as you can well see. I mean, it's not so difficult for people not to understand the pressure and the situation that the police are under here, but I think a lot of the guys just have to be patient. So far, I have to say, the fans inside the ground from both ends have been pretty patient and quite happy about the situation, but the guys outside are obviously a little bit more concerned.
And we eagerly look forward to this game because it's a big cup match tonight, Kilmarnock Celtic.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to it all week, I have to say. I mean, not everybody thinks it's a good situation. I mean, I know Kilmarnock will think tonight, well, we've got Celtic at home. Sure enough, they beat us 2-0 the other week, but we did make it awkward. We didn't take the opportunities that came our way that day, but tonight might be different for us, and the conditions might actually help them because this pitch, no doubt, is going to be very heavy. So I think you'll have to go a little bit more back to front. Celtic are a strong physical side, but you just never know. If you can get a little bit of break, a little bit of magic on the night, that's what Kilmarnock will be hoping for.
I have to say, it's a very bizarre situation. Charlie and I are the only people lit in this entire stadium right now.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
And as usual, we're, sitting ducks, aren't we? And behind us, people, as we say, are waiting patiently. Now, there will be a decision on this game in 5 minutes. And we can go and speak to the match referee, Hugh Dallas, and he's with David Tanner.
Thanks very much indeed, Jim. Hugh, what can you tell us? Is this game on or is it off?
Well, I've spoke to Strathclyde Police and they'll make a decision at 6:45 as to whether the game can go ahead or not. I don't think the fault has actually been identified yet, and there is a problem obviously with crowd safety outside. My main concern is obviously the players regarding warming up, but they've said that they'll make a decision at 1:45 the hour.
Does that seem like the best idea for you?
Well, I don't know if the fault's been identified yet, but obviously from the police's point of view, it's most important that the crowd safety is obviously first.
How problematic has this evening been for you with one thing and another?
Well, we thought everything was okay once we get the field playable, but it's one of those things that's out with everyone's control, so we've just got to go along with the situation at the moment and hope that they can rectify the fault.
What is the standard procedure for referees in this type of situation?
Well, the main concern is the players obviously warming up and the officials, but I've spoke to both clubs and told the clubs that regarding the kick-off time, if the police are comfortable with it being delayed, then it's important the players go back out, warm up, and then we go on again.
It's not a very long delay, so we'll find out in the next few minutes, I guess.
Not yet, no, you'll find out in about 4 or 5 minutes' time.
And you yourself, with the warm-up, you've been unwell recently, haven't you? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm as well as can be expected.
Okay. Hugh, thanks very much. We'll find out in the next few minutes then.
Thank you. Thanks.
I don't think Hugh Dallas is going to have those problems at the World Cup finals in Japan and Korea
He's
next
a Jonah. I
summer.
think Hugh Dallas is a Jonah. I'm telling you, every time he comes to one of our games, something happens.
He's been unwell. He's to contend with a very, very damp pitch. I know the lights have gone out on him. What more can go wrong, Mr. Dallas, tonight? Charlie, right now, we can only wait. We've just been told another 5 minutes, as you probably heard Hugh Dallas say there, and we will know whether or not this game goes on. Kilmarnock Celtic, of course, a big cup match. And, of course, Celtic, the holders, they want to press on with this. They want this game on.
Well, they do. I mean, I have to say, when I first seen Martin O'Neill's face when he came and looked at the pitch, I don't think he thought it was going to be on.
No, he looked anxious,
He
didn't he?
did. He looked very concerned. And I think Hugh, I mean, thank goodness we have Hugh Dallas. He is our #1 referee, and I think he made the right decision because the rain has stopped, and I think the decisions so far have been right. But what can you do about this?
Well, Charlie, while we're waiting, we can look at the results from the 4th round ties this afternoon.
They got back to 1-1, and certainly I thought maybe Clyde are going to come back too strong. But what a big surprise, and my compliments to Forfar.
Well, Partick Thistle get a replay, so they
Yep.
go to Dens Park now. Do you feel they could still do it?
I do.
Yeah?
Oh, it's most certainly. I don't think this John Lambie team has quite reached its peak yet. I think there's another little bit there. I know that probably deep down that they probably think they've had their best chance, but they can go to Dundee. Dundee are not that great at home, and I think time after time Thistle will say to themselves, we're a strong side, we can score goals, we've got good strikers, and we're going very well in the first division. Priority, yes, is to get to the Premier League. I would say that I still think Partick Thistle are in that tie.
Now, Charlie, some hope on the lighting situation. Oh, it was trying so hard to get on there, and then it faded away again. Those supporters, like we are waiting for this match, Kilmarnock against Celtic in the Tennant Scottish Cup, to get going tonight. And if you've just come in, we'll give you the background to this. There was a pitch inspection about 4:30 this afternoon. Match referee Hugh Dallas decided that the game would go ahead. It's been pouring with rain down in this part of the world all day today, but the game was to go ahead. The players were out there warming up, and then all the lights went out on us. So there is very, very little anyone can do at the moment. Now, David Tanner told us from trackside a short time ago that they were very hopeful that this match would kick off at around 5:45. Now, there's Martin O'Neill inside the tunnel here at Rugby Park, trying to find out, as we are, what the situation is. George Douglas, the security man, with him, Celtic security man. And of course, they're pretty anxious because behind us, the supporters who did come in earlier tonight are standing in darkness. Now, outside Rugby Park, it's reckoned there are as many as 9,000 supporters. Now, the turnstiles were shut on them a short time ago because, quite rightly, they didn't want numbers like that coming in. So they are outside waiting. We are inside waiting. And if anyone knows how to operate a trip overload problem, write to me, Jim White at Sky Sports. No, I'm joking. We really do hope that this game will go ahead. But Charlie, the big worry is, and you don't need to be a genius to work this out, the longer
the managers become concerned. I mean, seeing Martin's concern in his face there, I think Hugh told us, give us 4 or 5 minutes, guys, we'll make a decision. I think now Hugh will be under pressure by the managers. Bobby and Martin will both be thinking to his players, like, I can only keep talking to these guys for so long.
Yes.
And then, of course, we have the best part of 9,000 people outside, which is a bigger concern for the police. It's looking a little bit, dare I say, and risk it.
It is,
a little bit more promising.
It's as if we're praying for a miracle here, folks. The lights are coming on. So it might just be hope against hope that we're going to get this match on tonight. I mean, obviously, right now, that ain't good enough because we need more lighting than that. But they have had problems down here. Maybe they are related, Charlie, to the downpour that we've seen here today down in Kilmarnock.
Every chance, but if you remember just earlier in the cup competition, Livingston had to go to Albion Rovers, and there was only a section of the floodlights went off, and it's never been the best lit stadium in the world, Clifton Hill, but you know, I think they didn't have enough power, and then when one section went off, then they had to abandon the game. So everything has to be working at full power here.
Yes. Well, we're still waiting for the official announcement. It looks to us as if they've worked out what the trip overload problem is and that the lights are indeed coming on. So the players are still inside. They must be getting a bit more hopeful. The supporters who are inside are getting a bit more hopeful. They're actually now realising who they've been standing beside, Charlie, for the last half hour in here. There's a mascot who's out. And as we said, 9,000 or so supporters of both sides still outside. They're not getting through the turnstiles just yet. So at the moment, the game has been in doubt because of the weather, and now it's been in doubt because of the lighting problem. But John Robertson, Robert Douglas, Bobo Baldi, Celtic coming out. So the players are going to warm up, and this will get a cheer, Charlie, because this looks more encouraging.
Well, it does, as I say, it still needs full power, I think, for this game to go ahead. But I think it goes round to the little bit I was saying to you. If you're a player, you really, and you know, you still have the area where you can go and train and warm up on the pitch. You want to be ready. The one thing at Celtic, I'm not going to come here and say we haven't prepared properly.
Yes.
Martin O'Neill doesn't take a risk. So at least what we've got is that we'll get the players coming out. It won't really make any difference. There's still a police decision to be made and a refereeing decision to be made here. But at least I think what we'll find is that the players want out now. The managers, as I said earlier, Jim, there's only so much they can say. They've been building up all week. You can't sometimes put too many words into a player's head and try and confuse them. And I think that's what the players are saying now. Let's get warmed up and let the other people make the decisions.
So as Charlie says, the players, as you can see, as Kevin McGowan of Kilmarnock, the players are coming out now and they are going to warm up. But I stress, don't read too much into this situation, because we still to hear if this game is officially going to be played tonight. David Tanner is inside the stadium at the moment. We've got Davy Provan and Ian Crocker just beside us in the commentary position. They're ready to go, as well prepared as ever.
That'll be our first.
That'll be our first. But And now we have the lights coming on. That young supporter, Celtic supporter like us, waiting very anxiously to find out if this match is going to go ahead tonight. It really has, Charlie, been a very, very bizarre set of circumstances in the last half an hour, hasn't it?
I mean, it's been very strange. And I sometimes have to say that Kilmarnock have been so unlucky.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember last season when they had problems with their undersoil heating, and they could only use it a certain amount of hours in the afternoon. And for night games, they couldn't really get it. I think it was Inverness who came down last season and had a problem, or Ross County, someone come down from north. And they seem to have these problems all the time. And I remember 2 or 3 weeks ago I was speaking to Bobby in the build-up to this league encounter with Celtic. And I was asking him that day, and he says, it's just some things that they never seem to work for us. And now what do we have tonight? We have downpours, we have power cuts, and we still don't have a decision. But as I say, I mean, the players just have to focus on other issues now, which is being prepared for, if this game goes ahead, that when that whistle blows, that no one has got an excuse, because that is important. Because if this game goes ahead tonight, there'll be no one giving anybody any excuses. So, you know, I mean, the pitch will play a part if this game goes on, but we're still waiting on an announcement.
No, I think we're going to get news now. I think we overheard there that we overheard some kind of an announcement that this game is going to, I thought I heard there, Charlie, that the game is going to get played. So we're now going to hear from David Tanner again. Who's with you, Dallas?
Hugh, I'll ask you again, is the game on or off?
Yeah, well, we've had word that the game is going to go ahead. I think the fault has been detected, and the estimated kick-off time will be 18:20.
Now, you were originally going to decide about 2:15. It's now 5:02. It was worth the wait, wasn't it?
Well, it was. We're obviously trying to give the club as much chance as possible. You know, some spectators are on the ground. We've got to think of the spectators that are outside, so the police are concerned. My obviously concern is the players, but it's ideal, and it goes ahead at 6:20.
What about the players' warm-up? Are they quite happy with that? You've spoken to both managers now, obviously.
Yeah, both managers have been kept informed of the situation, and both teams are on the field now warming up. The same places where I'm going now.
Hugh, we'll let you get on with it then, but at the moment the kick-off is at 20 past.
6:20, yeah. Thanks very much.
We hope. Thanks, Hugh.
Cheers.
Talk about relief. We're going to get a game tonight. It will be kicking off at 6:20. So let me tell you now what's going to happen. we're going to have a break right here at Rugby Park. Charlie and I are going to try and get our breath back. And when we come back, we'll make the draw for the 5th round of the Tennent Scottish Cup. Let me tell you, if you've just come in and you've turned on, you will be seeing Kilmarnock play Celtic tonight. That is the good news. The match will kick off around 6:20. Why? Well, we've had all sorts of problems here tonight. We've had a pitch inspection because of the pouring conditions down in Kilmarnock today. The game, the good news was it goes on, and then the lights went out on us. But the lights, as you can see, are back on, and Celtic and Kilmarnock are behind us there warming up. Charlie, that's the good news. We're going to get a game.
Well, thankfully, I mean, we were concerned as soon as we arrived here with the different weather conditions that we had, mainly the rain. But the big thing was, the fans. There was no doubt that the fans were concerned, and we had to just be a little bit patient. We asked them just to be that way, and I have to say, the ones in the ground as well as out deserve an immense amount of...
They've been exemplary,
Yeah, I
haven't
mean, they deserve an immense amount of credit, because the way that they've been patient, there's been no problem at all. They've understood it. I mean, when you're in darkness, I think you can understand what the situation is.
Yeah, I mean, they have to be careful here because 9,000 or so fans outside the ground, and they're now coming through the turnstiles. But of course, taking their time because we've only just got the lights back on. So, Charlie, we're going to be very, very shortly, we're going to be making the draw, not you and me, but very other notable football people will make the draw for the 5th round of the Tennent Scottish Cup. And just to recap, some of the shocks today. Livingston are out. They were beaten 2-0 at Pittodrie by Aberdeen, but Hearts are out. They do not go in. Inverness, Caledonian, Thistle are in that draw.
Well, the big three from the Edinburgh area, you know, Livingston, Hibs and Hearts, we all expect them usually to be in the last 8 at least, and they've not been really doing that well recently. Hearts found a little bit of form, and Livingston have suddenly hit that kind of brick wall that people were anticipating would have came earlier.
Yeah.
But it's never easy. You go to Aberdeen, you're not going to get it easy, and I think Aberdeen fancies that today. So, you know, 3 decent sides out, and it gives everybody else, like Ayr United, a great win against Dunfermline today. That gives them a wonderful opportunity, not just to get one of the big guys. And I know sometimes there's always a highlight that let's go and let's get a big gun, and, you know, Rangers away or Celtic away, and for financial reasons we take that draw. But I think some of them will look at this draw tonight thinking we could get a draw that suits us and we could be in the semi-finals.
And of course, from the 2nd Division, Forfar, they're in there tonight as well. So let's get to it. It's a draw for the 5th round of the Tennent's Scottish Cup. And making that draw here at Rugby Park are Davy Provan of Sky Sports, who played for both Kilmarnock and Celtic, and Callum Mackay of the tournament sponsors Tennent's, and the man in the middle to ensure fair play. And it's good to see him back after recovering from heart surgery. A good friend of ours, SFA President Jack McGinn. Jack.
Thank you, Jim. It's good to be back. Without any further ado, we will proceed with the quarter-final draw of the Tennent Scottish Cup. I'm asking David to draw the home teams and Callum the away teams. So, on you go, chaps. Thanks. And first out of the drum, Forfar Athletic. At home to Rangers. Dundee United or Hamilton Academicals. Play Ayr United. Thanks. Aberdeen. At home to Kilmarnock or Celtic. And finally, Partick Thistle or Dundee could be Inverness. Thank you. At home to Inverness Caledonian Thistle. These games will be played on the weekend of February 23-24. Thank you.
Jack, thank you for that draw tonight, and it's an interesting one, Charlie. We'll talk about it in a second. The draw then for the 5th round of the Tennant Scottish Cup. Forfar, who won today, they put out Clyde. They will face Rangers, that's their reward. Dundee United or Hamilton will face Ayr United. Ayr United put out Dunfermline today. Aberdeen will play the winners of this match tonight, Kilmarnock or Celtic. And Partick Thistle or Dundee, who have to do it again, they drew 1-1 at Firhill today, will play Inverness Caledonian Thistle, who today put out Hearts at Tynecastle. Charlie, well, what stands out to you, Aberdeen against Kilmarnock or Celtic?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think if Celtic go through, I think if we're talking Celtic going through, whether they win tonight or in the replay, I think that is a fascinating game, because just 3 weeks ago we had Aberdeen winning against Celtic, so they'll feel up for that. I have to say, Forfar might be quite pleased. They might have wanted financially the game to be reversed, to be in Glasgow.
Yeah.
But other than that, can they do a Berwick? Can they hold on and get a draw and then go to Glasgow and just take the financial package in? So a couple of interesting ones. The other one that stands out for me is that Partick Thistle against Dundee, which we'll go into replay. I still think the Jags are in with a chance of that, but they will face Inverness. They'll fancy their chances. So I think for the semis, we're looking at 2 or 3 teams fancy it.
Okay, well, we're waiting for Kilmarnock to face Celtic tonight after all our problems here. Lights, pouring rain, the lot. Let's go to David Tanner, and he is with Bobby Williamson.
Bobby, we've had to be patient. I know you don't want to talk about the draw for the next round, so let's talk about the game ahead of us tonight. What kind of condition is the pitch in?
I don't know. I've not been on it.
Does it look okay to you?
Looks fine for here, what I can see of it.
What about the delay? How badly has that affected the players in their warm-up for this game?
Well, we'll see that after the game, how it's affected them or not. But no, it's been a stop-start day really, and it's been unfortunate. Nobody's fault. These things happen, unfortunately. But we've just got to be professional about it, go on with it, and hopefully get a result.
What are they actually doing at the moment to try and avoid picking up some sort of strain? Because is there a real danger when you aim your body towards a 5:35 start and suddenly it's 6:20?
Some of the lads are really complaining because I've had to be put up with 2 McCabe warm-ups, and one's usually enough for them a week, and I've had to do 2, so they're not happy with that, but hopefully I'll hold them in good stead.
What about the game ahead tonight, Bobby? How similar might it be to the game here a couple of weeks ago?
I hope it's nothing like the game 2 weeks ago, because we lost that one. No, we're going to give it our best, and hopefully we're the team that gets the breaks on the night and goes through to the next round.
You lost in midweek, of course, but I think you were happy that the team had played well against Motherwell, is that correct?
Yeah, I felt we played reasonably well against Motherwell, and they're the team that get the breaks on the night. Scored 2 good goals for their point of view, and unfortunately we couldn't get one back, and I think if we could have, may have changed the course of the match, but we never, and we've just got to accept the defeat and congratulate Motherwell on their win.
I heard in the build-up to the game today people saying that it's almost going to be difficult to get consistency with so many young players. Is that something which has played a part in defeats in recent weeks, or is that just the nature of the game?
No, I don't think so. I don't think the kids have played badly at all. As I said, the experienced players are there to help them through it, and you win games, you lose games. We can accept that in football. Unfortunately, it's pretty hard for other people out with it to accept it.
You've got a few kids in the side tonight, but no DeJacimo. What's the situation with him?
Unfortunately, the boy's had an operation today, and they've reconstructed his cruciate ligament, so he'll be out till September. Very bad news for him, his family, and for all the guys here. We wish him all the best.
He took a knock against Hibs recently. Was that what caused that? And it was an impact tackle with Gary Smith, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a tussle with Gary, and he's went down awkwardly, and he's done his cruciate. So they got a scope today. They found out the extent of the damage, and they've reconstructed his cruciate. And as I said, about for a wee while now.
How is he taking it? Because he's very young to suffer such a cruel injury, isn't he?
I don't know. I don't think he's out of anaesthetic yet.
Ian Durant, of course, has been through many problems like that. In fact, he's got another knee problem at the moment. Will you look to him to try and talk him through?
Well, there's guys about the place have had these sort of injuries, and they'll be talking to Paul when he starts to come back into training, rehab work. But our physio knows the score, and he'll nurture him along as well.
You've had a look at the Celtic lineup. Do you expect them just to go along with the usual formation tonight?
Yes, I don't see Celtic changing it. Why should they? They've managed to get results against us in the 3 games we've played, and never really looked like losing. Maybe the last game there we troubled them a wee bit, but not enough. And as I said, I don't think they'll be too worried about us.
At Sky Sports, we always give you a video of the game after our live matches. Have you watched the game with the players to try and perhaps pick up some pointers for them?
No.
Bobby, with that very short answer, we'll say thanks very much and enjoy the game.
Cheers, David.
He's such a wind-up merchant, is Bobby
Ready
Wood.
though, isn't it?
Is
You
he
can tell.
not?
I can tell listening to Bobby when he's ready, and he is ready.
He's ready. What's the playing surface like? I don't know. I haven't been on it. I mean, you
Well,
can't.
Bobby
you can't
was the
buy
type
that
of player
sort
never
answer.
worried about the surface. It made no difference to him. He would be in about you, and his team is exactly the same. What I think the point to pick up in Bobby's comment there is that sure, we troubled Celtic last time, but we didn't trouble them enough. It would be different if the lad Boyd would have scored with that header just before half-time. He knows tonight, if he can get his Kilmarnock side in front, he has a real opportunity in the way that the pitch is going to cut up tonight.
Okay, Charlie, well, after a pitch inspection and after lighting problems, it's game on, I'm delighted to tell you. Kilmarnock against Celtic in the Tennant Scottish Cup. The winners tonight will face Aberdeen. It's coming next.